Okay, hi, welcome to this quick tutorial on how to use the color picker tool and how to create a great logo, or at least one that serves our purposes for this class. So here I have my Pantone color block, my 5 Pantone colors that I chose, and I am in Paint.net. As you can see, I have two separate canvases open here, one with my Pantone and one with nothing in it right now, right? So, what I want to do is I want to use these 5 colors in order to make something, to make a logo. I'm only going to be using these 5 colors to make that logo, right? So to get the exact colors, I don't want to be like, I don't want to get as close as I can. I want to get exact, right? So there's a tool right here called the color picker tool. When you click it and then click on a color here, what you see is that it changes your primary color to that color. So it changed that my primary color to that blue, right? I'm going to switch the two now. So now I have white as my primary color, and then I'm going to click green. So now I have 2 colors from my Pantone colors as my primary colors here, right? And what that allows me to do is I can go back over to my other canvas here. And if I choose a gradient tool, I can click and drag to create a gradient out of those 2 colors, right? So I am going to do that. But what I want to do is I want to have a circular logo. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this gray color, and I'm going to pick my shapes tool here, and I'm going to create a circle from my shapes, okay? I'm going to change my brush width to be a little bigger. And then I'm just going to click and drag. Ooh, I want it to be bigger than that even. I want a big thick border around this. There we go. Quite. Maybe too thick. And there's a lot of feeling it out with this project. And feeling it out is okay. There we go. I have a little circle. Okay, I love it. So I've taken my circle. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to choose my 2 colors for my gradient again, my blue and my green. And if I try to do a gradient now, it's going to cover up my circle, right? I don't want to cover up my circle. I want to do just in the middle of this. So I'm going to choose my magic wand and pick the middle of this, okay? When I do that and now I make my gradient, it's only going to happen in the middle of my circle there, right? Notice I have all this white stuff around my circle. If I don't want it, I can create a rectangle select that goes around the outside of my circle here. And then I can come up here to image, crop to selection, and it's a lot more cropped than it was before. Of course, I can get rid of all this white in the background here to create a more tight logo, which is good. Cool. Notice that I had a lot of, there wasn't just one choice for gradient. I'm going to choose that magic wand again. I had a lot of different choices for gradients, okay? So let's see. If I wanted to, I could do one, the inside, this regular gradient here, which is just one side to one side. But we also have a linear gradient, which is reflected on each side, right? So you have green, blue in the middle, and then green, kind of a sandwich. You've got this diamond one, okay? And again, you can modify all of these with these little handlebars here. You've got this kind of radial, which is the inverse of the diamond, okay? You've got a conical one. You've got some swirlies, some really cool stuff in here that you can just sort of mess around with and see what strikes you fancy, okay? Because there's a lot of different stuff going on here. I'm going to pick this diamond one for now. Cool. Okay. So now I want to do maybe my initials. That would be cool. So I'm going to grab a different color from this Pantone color block. I'm going to choose this blue here. Come back to my logo. And remember, everything that we do, we always want to put on a new layer. So I'm adding a new layer. And on this layer, let's see, I'm going to do, let me go back to my single sheet here and see, which fonts I chose to use on my single sheet. Oops, sorry, my Google Doc is what I meant. I chose to use Vinerhand ITC. Let me go to Vinerhand ITC. Vinerhand ITC. Ooh, goodness. Love it. Great. So I'm going to make my font really big here. Maybe even bigger than 96. We're getting big. 144 looks good to me. So if I make an S there, oh, very cool. Okay. I can even make it a little bigger, I think. Wow. How big can we make it? S. Love it. Okay. You can reposition things. Now, if I write this A, they look very separated. And I kind of want to put them together a little bit, right? So I'm going to put my S in one layer here. And then in my next layer, I'm going to put my A. And what that allows me to do is it gives me a little freedom of movement. So if I wanted to kind of like combine them together a little bit into one little block here, I can do that. And then what I can do is I can come over here with this A, take an eraser tool and kind of clean up the parts I don't want to make it look more cohesive against my S so that it's all sort of one big block, and that looks cool. And if you wanted to, yeah, you can modify these a little bit. If you wanted a little bit less of a tail or no tail at all on your A there, you can make that happen. These are yours for the modifying, right? That's the whole thing of this project, is to make it yours. Once I have something I'm happy with, I am going to combine these together into a single layer. One way to do that is clicking this Merge Layer Down tool. So you see I have my A on top and my S down here. So I'm going to take this A and merge it down. And what it did is it put my S and A on the same layer. Okay. Then I can take my blue Move tool, move the layers around, maybe twist them a little bit so that they could go up in the corner. I kind of like that. Or, you know, I can make them smaller or bigger or whatever I want here, which is nice. So if I have it there or maybe there, and then I could do something else with it. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. But I like that little tilt to it. Looks very cool. One other thing that we didn't mention is you can do more stuff with the background here, right? This little gradient that we made, I'm going to go back on my background, click my gradient here, and increase my tolerance a little bit. There we go. Whoops, I got too much. I got the black of the circle. Goodness. There we go. Cool. If you go under effects here, there's a lot of cool different effects. I'm going to give it a blur effect, and you can kind of increase the radius of this blur. You can kind of see how that affects it. Kind of interesting. Gives it a little bit of a softer tone to it, right? What if I choose a distortion? Ooh, let's do a frosted glass one there. How does that look? Well, let's change the scatter radius. Oh, interesting. Make it a little smoother. That's cool. It's kind of got a different look to it now, a different feel where around the corners it's got that I don't know, that frosted glass feel to it. Distortion, noise, photo, render, stylize. There's a lot of different stuff that you can do here. There's ones that definitely look better than others. Twist can often be a fun one. So now we've got this blue and green in a little bit of a different way, kind of like twisting out. And you can change the amount of the twist. If you want like a real spherical one here, that looks very cool. If you want to change where the center of it is, oh, okay, maybe not that. But you kind of get the idea, right? Change the quality of it, all sorts of cool stuff that you can do with this, okay? So mess around with those. You've got lots of options. I'm excited to see what you can do with your logos.